jobs and stuff about that, and then I'll probably segue it to, Twitch and how you started.
When you say segue, I just imagine
Segway.
you riding round on a Segway.
Now we're just gonna segue into...
Just get a picture, really like stock picture of someone on a Segway, and just Photoshop Callum's face onto it and move it across.
Copyright lines over it, yeah.
Oh, moving it across would take so long.
Looking for...
I got lots of sympathy yesterday.
Sympathy?
Sympathy.
Oh.
Yeah. Sympathy.
What? Sympathy? What for?
Because I look so tired.
Oh.
Sympathy? Oh, yeah, I was Beethoven last night.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Callum.
I'm Holly Bear.
And I'm AJ.
Hey, that was really good. You just got straight into that.
Yeah, part of my talents.
Just going
one of
straight in.
One of many, yeah.
Okay.
So, what are we talking about today?
Well, I guess first of all we should say thank you for the love and support on the first episode.
No.
You cheeky bitch.
You're gonna get thanks from me and AJ, basically.
Yeah, well, me and Holly will thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah, the likes and the comments were nice to see on the first episode, the pilot, as I like to call it, the pilot episode.
I only found out this year that the first episode of anything is called pilot episode.
Yeah.
I really can't watch TV. It's actually a bit of a problem. Ay, ay, ay. Why is it called the pilot episode?
Because it's like the first episode before it takes off.
Ah, okay.
And for it to take off, like when it comes to planes, you need a pilot to get the plane to take off. So, because it's the first episode of a show, if the show takes off, that's why they call it the pilot episode.
Okay, it makes sense.
Education, isn't it, bruh?
I never had that. Speaking of which,
oh,
that
what
matter? It's almost like that was planned.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At school, you had in mind what was going to be your future job when you were there. Or did you have
it's
one?
always kind of like ingrained into you, isn't it? It's like, what do you want to do when you leave school? And you're sat there like 14 years old, and you're like,
I don't know.
Don't know what I want to do next
still don't
year.
know now.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I said.
Good job.
Thank you. I didn't think I was going to get those stuff in today. Can we name the duck?
Oh, should we leave it down to the people to name the duck?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
I want to call him Mandy.
No, because then you're just going to be going, oh, Mandy.
Oh, Mandy.
So, as if you watched the last podcast episode, you'll have noticed that there was some quacks every so often with a little duck that pops up on screen. Leave a name suggestion down below, and we will go through and pick whatever one we think is best. And name the podcast Duck that.
It's like a podcast pet.
It's our podcast
going to put angry eyebrows on there
mascot.
Because I did it on purpose.
Wait, hang on. What about angry eyebrows?
I'm going to put them on the duck. So
why?
I did it on purpose.
The duck is angry.
Yeah, he's angry
I noticed the duck kept getting bigger every time.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that was the
The
editor.
more bigger it gets.
There's another one. Helen's regretting saying, offering to edit the whole thing now.
Nah, fine. It was quite fun. Oh, so back to my question before.
Before I
did
rudely
say one.
interrupted.
Yes, again.
Wow.
What were your future jobs back at school, and how have they differ?
What were your what you wanted to do?
So what
Yeah,
were
back at
our
school.
aspirations back in day? What was our
Back in day.
aspirations?
Today.
And what are our current aspirations?
Current aspirations, oh my.
Who would like to start off?
Going because I don't really have any. I didn't have any.
Nibs, did you want to start?
I'm trying to think. Why?
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to disturb
Oh,
your
sorry.
thinking.
I'm from the Queensland. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's not Queens anymore.
trying
It's
to think.
Kingsland.
I know.
What?
Isn't that a place?
Spoiler alert, anyone that watches the F1, but we had our first
You're gonna
UK
get an angry
win
duck.
on a sprint
Really?
yesterday.
Yay!
Obviously, they don't play the anthem for sprint races, but it's it was a very weird thought that the commentators were saying like it's no longer God Save the Queen.
It's weird when it comes to like watching the
strange.
football, because obviously when they do international matches, they do each country's anthem. So it's weird hearing everyone sing "God Save the King" and not "God Save the Queen."
Is that what they're now officially singing?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, but
literally since the first match after the Queen's passing, they changed it to "God Save the King."
Do all the lyrics of the song match up though?
Yeah, it was originally "God Save the King." That was the original song.
Ah, okay, I'm uneducated.
I think it was for George IV or something.
Ah, okay.
Isn't he a grill?
No, that's a
No,
George
that's George
Foreman.
Foreman. Different person.
It was for one of the old kings.
Wasn't he already Steady Cook?
I don't know. This
No
is just
one
going to
wants
need to
answer
be
my
edited
question,
out.
so I'm just going to go.
Oh, there is so many bloopers. We're just gonna have to do a second video, aren't we? In that off week of just bloopers from this week. Oh my goodness.
So
It's gonna be a
Nibs,
bloody good
you.
one. I'm trying to think because one thing I knew I didn't want to do was go to university. I know that. I wanted to go into working either with animals, or just caring in general. So I did health and social care in school, and I really enjoyed it. And
Did that include like health and social care for kids as well? Like, was it just very general?
Yeah, it was care. It was human needs in general, particularly obviously when it comes to the elderly, the disabled, and kids. And I really enjoyed that. So I wanted to go into one of those sectors, whether it had been through teaching, through I think I'd probably quite enjoy like a preschool, to be honest. Even now.
I couldn't handle kids that young.
And yeah, or working with animals. And I think there's a very underlying thing there, is that it's all care related. So any of those options, and funnily enough, I've worked with animals and been a carer, so it kind of follows suit, really. So I wanted to work with animals. I always knew, and working with animals wasn't good pay. Same with same with caring, actually. Anything to do with care. I didn't want to be a nurse. I didn't want to be a vet or anything like that. Although when I was like 4 or 5 maybe, I had like a little, the little play sets. I did have like a little veterinary kit, and I did say back then, I remember, I don't know what year it was in primary school, but I remember we had one of those days where it was like bring in and dress up as to what you want to be when you're older.
Mhm.
And I dressed up as a vet, which I mean wasn't far off because I did become a dog groomer in there. Very similar, to an extent. When
Yeah,
how much you
it's
actually
still
have
like
to know.
the well-being of animals, isn't it? Really, at the end of
Absolutely,
it.
yeah. So yeah, I always kind of wanted to work with animals or do some sort of caring job, and I overall succeeded so far. But yeah, that was kind of what the route that I wanted to go down.
Mhm.
Actually,
Does it differ
weirdly enough.
from what you want to do now? Then, like,
Do you have a thing that you want to do now?
mm,
I don't really
Farmer.
know where I'm going now, to be honest. I miss working with animals. Not enough to go back into it. I miss caring for people because of the relationships you build with the clients and the people you look after. Probably also not enough to go back into it. And I think the thing that holds me back with that is physical things. So, but I don't know. I miss it, but I don't know if I would go back to it, if that makes sense.
yeah.
I don't know what I want to do now, honestly. I think I'm just kind of taking each day as it goes and just enjoying. And the thing is, I don't know where I'm going to be in 2 years, I don't know where I'm going to be in 3, 5 years time. And that's the same for anyone, so it's difficult to say. But I don't know. I would quite like to maybe get a little bit more specific with what I want to do, like even if it's down to with my hobbies and interests and stuff like that, because that's essentially what you start with when you want to work with animals. It starts as a hobby and an interest. So
It's how like all healthy jobs form, really, because if you
yeah.
love your job, you don't treat it as a job, you treat it as a hobby.
I think that's maybe just what I want is a job that
Kellum used to just walk around as a kid and be like, "Ooh, I like this."
But then again, I don't know if he's the same when you go to a shop. I don't know if Callum's like, he probably just fucking knocks it down when he goes, fuck this. But I have to ask OJ, when you go into a shop and you see something out of place, do you fix it even though you don't work there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to a Lidl once, and you know how they have like a random section where they have like random things like socks, underwear. They might have straighteners. Well, there was this one that had like paint cans, like
spray paint.
yeah, spray paint. It was black, blue, and red, and green. And they were so out of order. I spent half an hour in that shop arranging all 4 sections by colour. And my friend that I was with
sit there and watch the security bit for it. Like, what the fuck is that person doing? We'll just leave them to it. It means you don't have to pay someone to do it. It's fine.
But like, because me and my mate went there, I think I had like a friend come and stay over, so we went to get some like food and that for like the weekend. And that supermarket is very cheap, so like, yeah. And we kept having to walk past it, and it was bothering me every time I walked past. So I was like, right, look, listen, just hold this a second. I'm just gonna sort this out, and spent probably about 15 minutes just organising it all.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not just me.
No, like, you can find like a random item on the shelf that you know is like an aisle or 2 down that you're gonna go down anyway. So you're like, oh, I'll take that and pop it back where it belongs,
I knock it over.
I think
you were right.
Yeah, I imagine that was the case. But it's the same when I take something, and I think it's because I've worked at I'm not going to say the name because I don't want you to have to leave it out, but I've worked at a petrol garage, so I know the idea of stocking. And I don't know if Kellen does this, but when you go shopping or you go to a shop, if I take one, I'll either take it from behind or I'll take the first one and then pull the next one forward so they don't have to rearrange it. So it's like I've never been there, and I'm not being an inconvenience, even though I'm fucking shopping there. You know? Like,
When it comes to things like milk and that, like I'll always get the one from behind. One, because it usually has the longest date on it.
the
But
date,
two,
yeah.
because the ones at the back are usually already like out of shape from people moving every other one about. So I'll just take one and then just make the front look nice and neat.
Yeah, basically.
I
Well, I'm not the only
sometimes,
one.
when I have to fill up the shelves, I tend to put it in the wrong place on purpose.
You're the one that I'm fixing when
Yeah.
I go into supermarkets. Next time I
Whoops.
go to a shop and I see something out of place, I'm just gonna send a message to Keller and be like, "Bro, how
Can you start
how
stacking
long
shelves
is it?
properly?
Like,
Bruh.
when did you jump in here?"
Whoops.
Oh, I don't know if the mic just picked up that train. That was very loud.
Choo choo.
I didn't hear.
Didn't hear?
No.
Yeah, no, I as far as it goes for me, actually, I didn't realize quite how close mine was. Actually, working with animals and caring, like going into care and stuff. So
At least yours was relatively close though.
yeah, actually,
Mine was
That's-
spot on, Dash.
Mine couldn't have been farther from the path.
yeah. Go on then.
Yeah,
Right, so
what
I
was
think
yours?
that's kind of mine wrapped up.
I
Yeah.
wanted to go to uni at one point.
Oh, right.
I know, right? Someone
Yeah,
as
no, I
thick
know
as
I
me.
didn't. Hey, don't be mean to yourself.
So
You're not
I
Yeah,
was
that's my job.
as as like brushed over on the last like episode. I wanted to do A levels at college.
Yes, we did talk about this.
Which
Can
I
you
didn't
just
do.
show everyone your plaster?
I
please?
got dinosaur plaster. Wait, focus.
Where can you get these from? I need them.
I think I got them from Poundland. Hashtag
Oh.
not spawn.
Do I have to bleep that out?
No, I think you can.
Oh, there we go. It's in focus now. I has a T-Rex. I have.
Can I put a little duck next to the other duck?
I have a pterodactyl and I has a triceratops. But yeah, I originally wanted to do A levels at college. I had a whole plan set out. I wanted to go to
Oh.
college for 2 years and do A level psychology, sociology, and law. And then I was gonna go off to, I can't remember which uni. I think it might have either been Plymouth or Brighton. And I was gonna go study criminology.
So,
Oh,
if that
Yeah.
was, if you had a whole plan laid out and they are all linked, what did you want to be when you were older?
well, you are police
When I was
officer.
younger,
Younger?
When I was younger.
when I was younger, I used to wanna.
There you go.
Young
Sorry.
boy. Father.
I used to wanna be a.
Oh, God.
Ay. I used to want to be a dog handler for the police.
Ah.
And
Okay.
then
I have handlers.
Low key though, I actually, one of the reasons why I went to college for animal welfare was because I wanted to become one of those RSPCA inspectors.
oh, why?
So actually, we're quite similar.
So
in
yeah,
that sense.
I wanted to become a dog handler, and then I don't know why, but I then decided that I'd either want to be a police officer or a forensic profiler, which is where the criminology side comes into it and the psychology side of
Yeah, yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I don't know how many people like know the police system over in the UK, but if someone is believed
I
to
know
be,
them all too well.
if someone is believed to have like welfare issues,
Yeah.
God, Kellum, you're vibrating. Those that may not know the police system, like if someone's believed to have welfare issues and that, they get profiled by a criminal psychologists to see whether they're fit for interview, what could like be a problem in interview, etc. And I used to love the whole thought process behind how that worked, etc. So it was kind of a toss up between the two.
Was that because of like why was the reason for that? Is it because like you were just very interested in sort of the psychology of it? Is it because like you wanted to make a difference, or like what was the reason for that?
I've always been someone that likes to like I've always been interested in how things work.
Yeah.
So it's been like the psychology side of it, and like I'm always someone that's open to learning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to do that for like that reason, to like learn what kind of makes people switch, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting like there's a lot of like interesting studies behind it and that. And like for example, when it comes to quite famous like notorious, we're gonna call it, like serial killers, a lot of the time they will have been profiled, and you'll find that it's an issue within their childhood that brought them out to be how they are, or like there's signs in their childhood that have brought them out to be how they are, if that makes sense. And it was just the logical thinking behind that, and how one's
like pulling the wings off a butterfly.
Like how one's human nature can have the complete like opposite change by one small event.
Yeah.
Because it only has to be something small for like a young person that can make them just switch, you know.
I think one thing that I find we kind of touched on this, like what would have happened. Like it's mental to think what would have happened if we'd chosen the other route, you know, like gone to do A levels and stuff, because we all went to college. Kellum's is slightly different. Went to college, left, went to college, you know, but it's it's really interesting to me, because the thing that makes me very interested in the psychology kind of thing now is more so because growing up, didn't really know how to read people too well, but I think since particularly since certain events have happened in my life that have caused psychological issues and stuff behind the scenes.
I feel like we're both quite analytical people.
Yeah, and I think I wonder if I had stayed at sixth form, I wouldn't have done very well at all. I would have gone shooting downhill faster than I did, but because of who was there. But
take off your rolling skate.
I just wonder if I had completed the psychology course, would I have been able to process things differently, knowing what was going on when, you know, certain events have happened in my life, which I now struggle with, you know, what I do now with my PTSD and stuff. So it's stuff like that makes me think, I wonder if it would be different if I had completed the course and stuff. I don't know if anyone feels similar to that. I don't know.
Yeah, I do wonder what would be.
You're on about.
No, I wonder what would be. Like, I wonder how like life and that would be if I'd went and gone to uni, etc.
Yeah.
Because by now I'd be in my second year of uni.
Yeah, you'd still be halfway through further education, essentially.
2/3, because it was a 3-year course I was looking at.
Okay.
But yeah, it's crazy to think that I'd still be in education, and I probably wouldn't be here recording this podcast.
No, there's no way I think that we would have all been brought. Like, I don't know, it's mental.
It's true, I'm expensive.
But yeah, and then because obviously I wanted to get into like the forensic psychology side of things, I also wanted to look into like the forensic science side of things. And within I think the next year or two, I might actually be taking a course on forensic science. So
that's really exciting.
kind of cool.
Would you have become like a detective sort of thing?
No, there's too much paperwork for that. I'd rather just handle the dead people, you know? Like, in the bluntest way possible, I'd rather work
So
with
a
the dead.
morgue.
No.
Morgue.
No, someone like a,
In a morgue. Morgue? Oh,
No.
God, now you've got me debating
I wouldn't
too.
have wanted to be like a coroner or anything.
Morgue.
I would have wanted to be the person that...
Is that the word?
A coroner. A coroner is someone that, like, removes the dead bodies and that. I would have wanted to, like, look into, like, the small detail of things. So, like, what caused the death, what...
So basically,
Sherlock
more
Holmes.
specific
Forensic scientist.
detective. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if any of you have ever seen, like, NCIS, but, like, Kellum, if you have.
I have.
You know Abby?
No.
The really punky goth... the goth woman. The punk goth woman. It's like
Yes,
her
I
sort
know
of job
who you're on
rather
about.
than Gibbs's
That was
job.
your moment.
That was Kellum's moment to be like,
That was. I know this one.
I did know it.
yeah. So like her sort of work rather than like Gibbs's sort of work is what I'd rather have done.
Gibbs is the better one.
Um,
Why not be Gibbs? He was cool.
But yeah, like the analytical stuff behind it, so like different fragments, etc. Like the really nitty gritty stuff that no one else really wants to do.
Like what sort of bullet it would have been. Was that what she did?
Yeah, part of it anyway.
Yeah, it finds out the gun and the bullet.
I wouldn't have wanted to be a
That's really
what's
cool,
it
though.
called? What's the word
A
I'm looking
people
for?
speaker. A spokesman.
A spokesman.
No, like I wouldn't have
Yeah.
wanted to do the autopsies, you know. Like it wouldn't have bothered me if I did do that sort of stuff, but I'd rather get into nitty gritty, you know. Like the after autopsy
You would do
action.
the autopsy of the perpetrator. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But I used to want to get into like the law side of things then as well. We'll say like a general term.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then suddenly last
I
minute
think
I changed to catering
a
and I have
lot of-
no idea why.
It's
But I
such
did.
good.
a different
Such
path
a different
as
path,
well.
isn't it?
It's such a different path.
When you switched to catering, did you not want to be a chef towards the end? Because that's
No.
what happened to me pretty quickly. I did not want to become a chef.
I didn't want to be a chef at all. I don't know why I took catering.
It was like 15 hours on your feet.
Mm.
And I thought,
My
I
mum's
don't
best
like being
friend
on
is
my
a chef.
feet for like an hour.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's the long hours as well.
Yeah.
Pretty good pay though, I think. In most places.
Yeah.
Depends.
Yeah, it depends. It's a bit like any other job. It
Yeah.
depends. But it's definitely one that's held a little bit higher, I think.
Yeah.
Only because a lot of places rely on chefs, you know.
Yeah. And I guess as well, it depends on how much experience you have.
Mhm.
If you've got a lot of experience,
I
then
actually got rejected from my place because I was more experienced than the head chef.
Because you went to college.
You just come in like, going for your job, bitch.
I went for a trial job.
Interview me, I should be interviewing you, bitch.
Just like at the end of COVID, you know, when everything was opening back up properly, like pubs and that. And I went to a local pub, which is literally 5 minutes down the road from my house. And I did a trial shift. I got paid for it. I got paid 60 quid. For I think like 5-6 hours work. So it was like £10 for the.
You got paid for a trial shift. That's really cool.
Yeah, because else it's classed as labour. You know.
Slave.
Okay. I have been outdone.
And he was like, "Yeah, I'll text you like your hours and that. Like we're happy to hire you." And I never heard back from them. And it turns out that I was more qualified than the actual head chef. Because I'd done my catering, I'd got a level 2 certificate in health and safety, in actual catering.
I have that.
Food hygiene.
Hygiene one anyway.
You would have had this health and safety one as well because it was part of the food hygiene.
I think I failed that.
But yeah, I never heard back because I was more qualified than the head chef.
Damn.
Oh my.
Real random story there.
Goodness
What?
me.
So, what would your future job be if you have thought this far?
If I'm able to get fitter, like physically fitter, like my cardiovascular system, not necessarily. Yeah, like if I can get my cardiovascular levels up and like physically be a bit fitter, like it doesn't like not necessarily like weight, but just like general like fitness. I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
going and being a police officer, but then I also wouldn't mind small league football, if that makes sense, and seeing how that went. Because me and
Yeah.
Nibs were chatting the other day about that, weren't we?
We were, yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I think you should become a manager.
Fucking ITV commentator, mate. Get me on the
Manager?
commentary team, BBC. I am coming for your jobs.
There was a reason why.
Oh,
Bro,
okay.
that match the other
Oh,
day,
commentator.
Oh god. Got so annoyed.
You stayed. You didn't have to stay, but you stayed. Me and Philip were watching the England game the other day.
He was munching on food, so he did not care.
And I
about
was there just
her
commentating the match like I usually
and she
do.
was going, "Oh, she should be up front because there's not enough attackers." And
No, but like the thing is
no one
we
fucking
had
cares.
no.
Keep it to yourself.
We had more
Just watch
substitute
it.
defenders than we did actual attackers because we had 3 of our main like up front people off.
Yeah.
And I was like, the game could move a bit better if this person came out of defense up front and then they brought on another defender.
Let's all keep in mind they also won 4-0.
Yeah, they did beat Japan 4-0. The second half was very quick moving. And there were some brilliant goals.
The Norway game's coming up on Tuesday, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, I think so.
Yippers. But yeah, I wouldn't mind trying to get into at least small league football.
Yeah.
Because I've always liked the sport. I kind of drifted away from it when it came to watching the men's sport. Because I just didn't find it entertaining, you know? Half the time they're just rolling around the pitch, and I don't find that entertaining. I'ma be honest, you know?
Yeah.
Like, a bloke can get slide tackled and he's suddenly broke every bone in his leg. If you look at Katie McCabe and her getting slide tackled, she might roll about for a second. She might roll about for a second, but then she gets back up. And that's what I really like about the sport. It's just the continuity of how they just get on with it, you know? And there's like a couple of small leagues near me that I'm hoping to join a small club in the new year, play for a year, and then see if there's any larger divisions that are looking, you know.
I know when we were talking about it the other day, you were kind of saying you don't really fancy going big, but you know, a little bit further, and you'd be quite content at
like
good
obviously
league
if the opportunity
level.
came to go big, I wouldn't say no, because that would be stupid too, you know. But I don't think I'd ever be good enough to go big, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But then I guess it would depend how the first couple of years of small league went, you know. Like everyone improves over time and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you never know. You
know.
never know.
Heaps. But yeah, football is something that I'd quite like to get into as like a hobby. If it obviously then went into a career, I wouldn't be against it. But if I had to say like what career I would have in mind, it would probably be something like the police force still.
Yeah.
I recently had a friend that went into the police force.
Oh, why?
From where I work, yeah. I've been trying to get him to show me his baton. Not a sex pun. I just or his badge or something cool, and he won't get out of his car or his bag. Yeah.
Maybe
Apparently
he thinks
they
you're
get
gonna do
pepper
something
sprayed.
wrong.
No, he also said he wouldn't try to take me down. He'll call
Well,
up for
that's fair
backup for like 8 people.
That
It wasn't
bad, yeah?
nice. It wasn't nice. He's just scared.
We see Kellum in the news with like 8 police officers hanging off of him.
You'll never take me alive.
He said I would go for these at the baton. I was like, you would just make me more angry. And you don't hit my knee. Bow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that like my past aspirations were quite different from now, but not at the same time, you know.
Yeah.
Like they sort of still link, but
Yeah, like obviously, like if I do manage to do the forensic science course, then yeah, I'd happily like try to apply
That's
for that
gonna
sort of
be a really
thing.
great one. Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends how life takes me over the next couple of years.
That's really cool. And that's with the Open University, right?
I believe so, yeah.
I mean, if anyone out of chance that has gone through that course and has any recommendations or, any advice, then they can always let you know
Aye.
how they found it, what they think of it. Because I think it's quite a popular thing now, isn't it? Like to get into forensics and psychology and things like that. Everyone wants to know how everything works, and
Yeah.
it's a very interesting topic to get into. Yeah. So yeah, if anyone has any advice. I didn't see what was going on there. Oh
Tell him,
my.
stop wobbling your camera, boy. You're slowly fading.
Oy, oy. Okay.
Sorry, I'll move down for it. I'll
So
get all
Callum
chest now.
he's getting ready for his part now.
My OnlyFans shoot.
That wasn't where I was going with that.
Oh.
Ay, ay, ay.
Bum, 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 bum.
Maybe we should cut that out.
That's all right, it's only chest. Free the nipple. Support it.
Oh my God.
All right, my part. What?
Yeah, what were you wanting to do when you were younger? And
Okay.
this is gonna be a story and a half.
So, when I was very little, I apparently told my nan I wanted to be famous. And look at me now, baby.
Brilliant.
I didn't really have any aspirations or any goals when I was growing up. Went to school, barely.
Just
Yeah, just enough to qualify for my job now.
just enough to qualify. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, all dumb there. I've got to fit in, you know. But now, future jobs. I have been thinking about it.
Like, if you could have any other like career from your current one,
So, I wouldn't mind a desk. You know.
A what? Sorry.
Mind a what?
A desk job. Sorry, I
Desk job.
started mumbling.
Oh, like an office type job.
Yeah, but I wouldn't like to answer the phone.
Shirt and tie, baby.
What
It's
I mean
like a
is,
paperwork job, maybe.
kind of like a work from home, like maybe even in like a full-on editor or
Oh yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, I
Oh,
wouldn't
man.
mind PC stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That could be
clearly,
really cool.
I'm not very good. Yeah, from the camera.
Don't judge a man by his equipment. All right.
I feel like if you put
Yeah, let's not get into this, man.
It just sounded like a sex thing. I'm sorry.
oh, what is wrong with you today, Kellum? Ugh.
Drunk.
His mind is somewhere else.
I reckon that if you put like more time into editing and actually like learn more like transitional stuff and other types of long form content and put together a portfolio, I feel like you could do all right.
Yeah. I also wanted an IT apprenticeship at the moment.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just taking my time, which I probably shouldn't do because the job I have now is shite. I hope they fucking watch this.
Kellum's manager is job shite.
That's
Christmas time's coming up.
Hey, at least you get tips.
Do you?
On my OnlyFans, yeah.
I make Christmas tips at your job, you know.
Oh yeah. On my paper round. It's where I work now. Yeah, but that's pretty much all I thought about so far. Mainly technology stuff.
I guess.
So.
Plus, then I could also play RuneScape whilst I'm working. Like I do now, though.
Games on the job.
Like having
your eyes
in the tech industry isn't necessarily a bad thing, though, because it's such an ever-growing world nowadays, and
absolutely,
there's always tech jobs.
Yeah.
Popping up here and then, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And I guess as well, doing this podcast and obviously
you see my chest there.
Oh my! Couldn't tell because the line's over the top.
No.
To be fair, like doing this podcast and offering, you know, like you put yourself out there saying, "Well, I don't mind editing the videos and stuff."
We should probably say that Kellum fully edits these podcasts on his own. Because I mean,
it's a huge.
Well, let's not pick this up yet. It's only been the first one.
No,
but it shows.
And it means a lot to me and Nibs as content creators
100%.
outside of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we both kind of we have to, how do I put this in the nicest way possible? We have to make sure that we don't overdo it. With our energy levels and things like that. And that's okay, you know. But I think it's also quite nice because this is actually what Kellen wants to kind of get into as much as he can. It kind of shows almost like a online portfolio. You know, people are going to see these podcasts get better and better, the production getting better and better.
The effects
editing,
better.
you're going to get quicker. So it's going to be really cool to, you know, because people can see your portfolio, your work essentially in this podcast. You know, if anything gets better with the editing, please do point it out. You know, say
or if there's anything specific you like
about
about the editing.
Oh,
look at us on the same brainwave then.
Look at us go. It's the hats, isn't it?
It's that it's definitely the thinking hats.
Yeah.
I took off my thinking cap.
We all started with hats on today, and then Callum went, "No."
Why would you want to cover up this beauty? God damn.
God damn. Yeah. So if you have any, I don't know, do you want advice, Callum, or are you happy just plodding on?
Advice is always welcome.
Yeah.
Unless it's that I look like Markiplier. That's why I turned on my light now you can see.
To be fair though, I can see why that comment was said.
Is that an insult to you?
Not really. I don't know. I don't think he's super attractive, but
I love it. You're really not attractive.
Does that mean if you look like him, you're more attractive?
to some people, I guess.
You know what? I used to work with someone that was obsessed with them, so
Oh, I'm in.
I know, and it was at the more recent job too. So
Was it a he? I feel like that's all I
no,
get
it,
hit
it
on
was.
by
To be fair,
nowadays.
she does have another half and like a house and a dog, so maybe not.
I mean, you could go for the
Well.
dog. Be a home wrecker
I
and
don't
then
want to be
leave with the
upset.
dog.
Just think of when he finally gets the girl. Bitch, I didn't want you. I want the dog. For God's sake.
I met a dog whilst I was driving around yesterday.
Was it
To
one
other
called
people's
Roxy?
houses. Yeah, what a stripper name. Um,
I was in the car when you told me about that. I was fucking cracked up.
Was that when you were with your father?
It was when I was with me papa.
Papa.
We were on the way to Sports Direct at the time. We were just
Why?
leaving town.
So many names. Oh my god.
do I bleep that still?
Nah, just leave it.
Well, I do now.
But yeah, you texted me that
Oh, yeah.
as we were coming. It's not a very long drive. It's literally like 2 minutes round the corner.
My
Oh my.
t-shirt is around my knees right now.
As in like from
Sorry?
Tesco's to.
My t-shirt, it's so big I can put it around my knees.
God, it's like a dress.
A little bit.
Is he doing one of those kid things? You know, when you're gonna sit with like your legs up and you kind of just like pop it over the top.
No.
I don't know why I called it a kid thing. I definitely did that at some point this year as well. So,
Let's
but
see
then
if I
again,
can get it on
mentally, I don't
camera.
know what age I am
This is where you
anymore.
just
So,
fall off the chair.
I can't read.
it's even funnier with the internet going. I just
Yeah.
feel like he's gonna freeze.
Oh.
Oh god. Oh gosh. Okay, so Callum reached his secondary school aspiration, but it's kind of like the tech industry that you're most interested in, say,
Yeah.
which is a good one to have.
I also did have when I was younger, I think I wanted to be, but I think everyone has this, a gaming sort of
Yeah, fair.
tester.
Hmm.
I actually have
I
done
almost
that.
said testicle then.
I've
Yeah.
actually been a game
Ooh,
tester,
show off.
Callum.
Yeah, but did you get money for it?
I didn't need
Money,
to.
money, money.
I got to play a free game from a very big fucking developer.
Yeah.
As well as some of the people that make the game used to make the COD games. So I was in like shocked, you know.
No. Oh.
Yeah, one of the people that developed the game that I've tested is
Has
one
there
of the
been any
old
more
COD
information on
developers. Huh?
Has there been any more information on that since?
There's going to be more testing for all platforms in January.
Oh, aye. And you're in for that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, exciting. Good. It's going to be a good year for you next year, I think.
But yeah, it's the fact that like it's made by someone like the old COD developers, and the fact that I get to game test it like for free, you know, that like
Yeah.
I'm like a kid in a candy shop, you know, on Christmas or something.
Christmas. It's exciting.
Hmm.
Exciting shit.
But yeah.
I had to hold back a comment. That's what you saw.
Oh, okay. Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah, game testing's fun. So if you ever get an invite to game test, do it.
Yeah.
Well, what if I don't like the game?
Then don't do
Then
it.
how the hell do we know each other? Oh, not us, but
Well,
the
that
hell
was
are
going
we
to
all
be
so
my.
close?
I was going to be my segue. Thank you. So, how do we know you?
Know me?
Yeah.
Oh, God, are we talking about that today? Okay.
Well, is there more on the other card?
I guess it does kind of fit into like where we got to today, and then
Well,
Yeah.
it's our current aspirations if you think about it.
True.
rather than our future aspirations.
Okay, well, in 2018, I finally decided to start streaming, not to make it a thing or anything like that, but it was more of a, I was kind of going through a rough time and it got really bad, but I was really glad that I had streaming. And it kind of just became my little escape, and it was really good for other people as well, which is why I did it. Because if I was having a bad day, I'd come back,
That was gross, AJ.
You'd get online.
She just popped a bubble and then it went on it.
Stuck to my lip. Edit that out.
Absolutely not. I'm going to zoom in on you as well.
Do it.
Do it. Join the dark side.
Because you'd have in general, have a crap day, come home, and then you just log on to PlayStation, Xbox, whatever you do. Back in 2018, that was PlayStation for me. Jump into a party, there'd already be one open with maybe 2 other people, but it's the people that you'd play games with, you'd talk to every single day. And then one of you would have had a party open already. Because I used to do like the 11 till 8, usually ended up working late because it was bullshit. But
yeah, the shit.
I'd get back really late basically, and then I'd have dinner whilst playing it. So it became quite a thing, and within 5-10 minutes I'd kind of forgotten about my shit day, because you'd be laughing, you'd be having a good time, and I wanted to bring that to other people. So I always had the motto that I always kind of kept was, if it can help improve one person's day, then that's the whole point.
Yeah.
But roll on to 2020.
Hang on, we're skipping over something here. Set the scene on the first day of you actually recording. How did you feel when you were doing it?
When I started streaming?
The first day, yeah.
Like your first ever
How
stream.
do you feel?
My first ever stream. Well, my first ever stream was like June 2018. And I think I've been streaming for 5 minutes, got scared and ended stream. I didn't know what I was doing. It was very intimidating. And I was like, oh no, I don't know if I can do this. So I actually started streaming though. One of the things that gave me more want to do it was shit people. Was people that were in my life that I thought were good people, and they were the ones that were supposed to support, and not the people that I play on PlayStation with, but people that should have been there for me. And they were the ones talking down, saying, she'd be a shit streamer, she's not good at games, she wouldn't even have a clue what she's doing. And then roll on to like sort of August, September of 2018, and I was streaming, having a nice time. It's very difficult. It's very strange to think about it now, because it is a case of, you're streaming to nobody. Luckily for me, I had friends, a couple of friends supporting, so I always kind of had 2-ish people in. So many streams that had no people in. But I think if you start streaming for the right reasons, it doesn't fucking matter how many people are in, because you're streaming because you're enjoying being there, and you're more focused on what you're doing than you are on streaming. Not that you're not focused on chat, but you're more focused on having a good time because you're enjoying being there, not because you focus on numbers. And I stress that very heavily, and I'm happy to do a whole episode on that. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
And yeah, so roll on 4 years later, we're here now. Things have changed, and I'm happy to go through that in a like detach that from this episode. Maybe I think that's a whole episode type situation. Maybe
that's like a proper
discussion
as well, that one.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about that next week. I don't know.
I just have one question.
Yeah.
When you started streaming and you didn't get much views at that time, did you ever thought about maybe putting the streams on YouTube at that time, or?
What, like the FODs?
Annoyingly,
Like
yes,
the
and
whole stream, yeah.
I did, and I again got scared and deleted it. It's why I actually have so many different YouTube channels, and the YouTube channels have changed so much over time. And I got scared, and that's my biggest regret is if I'd have started YouTube at the same time as streaming. It's mad to me the thought of where I'd be 2018 to now. That's 4 years, over 4 years.
Yeah.
From actually when I started, and even in between that, I always wanted to do YouTube at the same as well as Twitch. It was never maybe I should stress that I started on Twitch. It was all I always wanted to do both. Even if it was just because at the time I didn't know what I wanted to do on YouTube, so it was easy to put the VODs on there.
Yeah.
And I was so swept up in the whole affiliate thing with Twitch where, it was exciting that my streams went from 2 weeks to 60 days. I don't know if that's right. I think it's 14 days if you're not an affiliate, like VODs stay on your Twitch, to 60 days when you are an affiliate. So I was so caught up in that, like, oh, this is so exciting, I don't need to do it. And I was so scared on YouTube. So, yeah, a lot has held me back in regards to that. And then every time I'd get in a good mindset to do something, something would happen in my IRL life because it's not been smooth sailing since 2018. It's been a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
So, with how bad things have got at times, but yeah, I wanted to do YouTube at the same time, and I did. I didn't do it straight away, but I wanted to, and I think a lot of it as well was mental in the sense of because I had people saying, "Oh, she'd be shit at streaming. She's no good. She's not good at games." Ironically, I did get okay at games, so happy days.
I mean, I've played COD with you, and you're pretty good at that.
I don't know if I'd be good anymore. We're gonna have to see how it goes when I get back to England, but
I reckon you'll still be cracked.
We'll see.
S&D tearing up lobbies, nibs top of the leaderboard.
We had some good games. We did. And back in the day, it was quite exciting, but I don't know. I liked the fact that I wasn't good at games to start with because then I saw the progression. I look back when I went through that clip clear up situation, 4 years worth of clips. That's a lot of shit. And there's stuff in there that I forgot I even had, like from Black Ops 4, for example, and Black Ops 3, and dare I say Fortnite. All of these games, like there's genuinely good content there, and it's I don't know. I like the fact that my progression's on there, but I think it was also that in the back of my head that was like, yeah, no, maybe YouTube is a bit too much as well, and I think that's what scared me off of doing that as well. But it is what it is. Roll on to was it 2020 you came in?
Who, Callum or me?
Yeah,
Callum.
I was plus
2020 for Callum.
2020, talk amongst yourself for a second.
2019, I believe 2019 or 2020 when I came in.
Let me find out. Let me have a look. Oh, my rules are bloody long on there.
2020.
2020.
You don't know me.
April 8th, 2020 is when Callum followed you.
I think Callum accidentally unfollowed at one point as well, so...
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, it says his account was created on that date. So he followed you on the day that he made the account.
I did make the account.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, by chance, was going through Instagram. I think I remember you.
Yeah,
one of your first posts.
Time, it took that long for me to post about streaming. Because I'd never really posted that I streamed or I did any of that stuff. And then I think when it came to November 2019, I finally put my first post out about it.
Yeah.
I think it was around there.
I think I remember
before everything kicked off.
The picture as well.
Yeah, it was like
you
2
and your head
pictures.
sewn.
Yeah. 2. But yeah.
But yeah, I found it. Obviously, I was still, I'll say, not in a great headspace from my old job. So I looked for I saw her on his Instagram. For some reason, I was already following. I can't remember why I started following.
It's difficult. I think it was more just the whole like when you go to school with someone, you know them but you don't know them. So
Yeah.
you follow them. Particularly when I feel like it was at our age in school where it was normal to start following people,
Yeah.
just because you
Yeah.
know them anyway, because that's when social media was proper kicking off, and so
Yeah.
I feel like we're actually quite lucky where we were in that space where we had the before social media and also during it starting
Yeah.
to kick off. I dread to think what it's like now, but it's yeah. So I think that's why we were
Yeah.
following, but we didn't talk.
No.
Callum was in the year above me,
And
so
I weren't physically able to talk. I had quite bad social anxiety because of being able to talk to people. I think it's more like socially mute is the proper term. But yeah, and then I found her. I thought she was always nice. By the way, she mainly spoke. That I listened into, and I remembered her singing in assemblies.
Oh god, oh god.
When I came in with a huge Mohican.
Oh, you guy.
Yeah. I thought, I'll check out her streams. And yeah, haven't looked back on that since.
No. So
May have unfollowed and refollowed, but I think that was to test the following thing at one
maybe.
point.
I mean, it is
I
your
think,
account works out. So,
yeah.
but yeah. So 2020, Helen came into the stream, which kind of was the start of that really. And you've been fucking amazing, to be honest. I don't know what I would have done without
Oh, shucks.
you. He's like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, shucks. Kicking my
And
feet under
then
the table. Oh.
same year, AJ comes
6
in.
months after.
Yeah, 6 months after. Yeah, October. 2020 was a good year for
I
meeting
thought
people.
you were a whole year behind.
No,
me.
October 21st, 2020.
2020.
I'm like a year behind on sub
Oh.
because I didn't really.
Oh yeah, you weren't.
No, I didn't really
able
pay
to
for
suffer
subs and
at
that.
time.
Yeah. But
But also, sorry, AJ wasn't. I should have said at the start of this podcast that I am still unwell because I can feel that I'm losing it already.
You got this.
I think you were a little bit more. Is it right saying you're a bit more of a lurker to start with?
yeah. Apart from when I first came into chat.
Yeah.
And then I quickly
Like
lurked
chat.
again afterwards.
My question for AJ: how did you find it? Because obviously we knew each other from school.
Actually, I don't think
How did you
was it
come across?
recommendations? Recommended.
Or was it a person or?
No, I think it was. I don't know if it was Twitch recommended, but I think I went into because you were playing House Flipper at the time.
Aye.
On
Which was involved in the
PlayStation.
first comment.
Yeah, I'll get Callum to put like a screenshot of my first comment.
And then saying, what was
Mhm.
Callum's first comment?
Oh.
Probably just, hey, am I in the right place?
We'll find Callum's first comment as well and put up on the screen over
the
that way afterwards after we get
I
it.
think they were bad jokes.
Maybe.
Because I'm pretty sure it was a late night Sims game.
Probably. At this time, I was like, obviously, I was getting home
You
quite
were
late from
between,
work.
like when I came
And I was
around, you were
working night.
between
It was
Hard, House Flipper,
between,
and Sims, I think.
yeah. And like the times were like, it was usually around 10 o'clock, like 10 p.m. start. I know it would like go off to like 1, 2, which was fine for the work schedule I was doing. But it was a very different schedule back then. Not that there was a schedule.
Well with my schedule as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I obviously came around during COVID, so pardon me, my sleep schedule had been non-existent anyway. And I think I found you at like 1 o'clock in the morning or something on House Flipper.
Oh shit! That
On
means you
House
must have
Flipper.
found me through the first lockdown, Callum. It was April 2020.
Yeah.
We were locked down at that still at that point, weren't we?
Yeah, because we locked down March.
Are you sure it's
March.
2020 then?
That's
Yeah,
what it
that's
says.
what Twitch is saying.
But I feel like though it might be 2019. I felt like that
feel
was
like
the right thing.
2019, yeah, because I was still
But
working.
your account says 2020,
Yeah.
so unless you were you were watching without an account, I don't know. But that's because that's also a possibility.
Yeah.
No, because I made the account pretty much as soon as I found it.
I'm contagious.
Yeah, it says that your account your account was created April 8th and you followed since April 8th, 2020. Both of them.
Was the lockdown then?
Yeah, because it was.
2020.
So my birthday in January that year was when COVID first started to be properly reported in the country. Because, as I mentioned last episode, I was sat in a Weatherspoons with a group of mates for a birthday.
Yeah.
I sorry, Mr. Crab. No, I don't think it was during COVID. I know COVID was when I was fully talking.
I feel like you were before. Did you ever lock out of your old account? Did you have an account before?
No.
No, I don't know. I think it's maybe one of those situations where it feels so much
Yeah,
longer.
it feels longer than it is.
Far much longer than it
I don't
actually
think
is.
it was a full lockdown then, though.
No, I think it was when we were
joined.
first being put into restrictions. Like when social distancing first started coming about, etc.
No, I remember Boris talking about it. And I was still working there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure I knew Nibs way before that.
Yeah,
For
maybe.
a few months, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it
Then
comes
I remember
to
getting locked out. I also remember sending her a message of me almost going to sleep whilst watching.
Fair play.
In a little in a little cupboard hole. It was very warm in there. Very comfy.
Yeah, but 2020, you both came into stream, and you both stayed, became parts of the community very quickly, and I, fast forward to over 2 years. Oh yeah, over 2 years for both of you now.
Yeah. 2.5
You
years
know,
for Callum,
you've
2
both
years
been
for me.
modded. You're both, proper big part of the community. Become my bestest friends that I've ever had. Because I always struggled to make proper friends, and because of trust issues and not really knowing people's intentions and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so. And here we are now. So it's kind of just been one of those things. And then this year in particular, I would say, is it this year? Would you say about you two getting close?
End of last year. It
was last year.
It was your subathon.
Closer to last year.
It was
So
your
if it was
subathon last
my-
year that me and Callum first played and spoke to each other, and that's when we started to after that was we started to chat a bit more.
Yeah.
And
So it was
your fault I
around.
got this burden.
So it was around the time that I had modded you then, basically, because you weren't far off my subathon.
A couple
Just
months
after, wasn't it?
I think it was about a month or two after.
I still wasn't a mob then. I was still VIP, I think.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, because Callum was
AJ
modded after
for
me.
a while.
Oh shit.
I believe it was about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, because the reason I didn't want to mod you was kind of like
You didn't want him to change in chat.
I didn't want you to change in chat. I didn't want you to become all serious and
which
you know,
I
which
never
we're
do.
lose. Yeah,
not
which
serious
you
at all.
didn't.
Yeah.
Because mod changes people sometimes, and it's a lot of people. The difficulty with Twitch, and I'm happy to talk about this in that episode, is that some people are quite power hungry, and you don't realize their intentions until. And I'm not saying that either of these two are, but mod changes people, and I didn't want Kellum to change because Kellum's always been such a life of the party type thing, and yeah, it's kind of been one of those things. So, but yeah, you both mod.
I remember you VIPing me for like a week, and then I was modded. You VIP'd me because every stream I'd come in, auto mod would catch me. I could say something so simple, and auto mod would ban the word like
Auto
the
mod is
or something.
definitely nudged a few VIPs, I think. Because it nudges my memory, like, oh, maybe I actually should VIP this person by now.
I think there was like a 2-week period where every stream I came in, I would get hit by auto mod like at least once.
Yeah.
I think I got VIP'd quite quickly, didn't I?
Yeah, I think you were quite a quick VIP, which made sense, not just because of the school connections, because there's been several people since, particularly in the last 2 years, like since lockdowns and stuff, that have come in and then expect special treatment, which I think is very funny, because it's very much the typical old school film, you know, when they get people get bullied and then they get really big and successful. Not saying that I am that, but that's how people see it, and if they think that they can either benefit off you or think that they deserve special treatment because they knew you in school, it's kind of one of those things, isn't it? And so it was, it's been quite amusing actually. There was one that came in, wasn't there? We won't name anyone, but just assumed they were gonna get the world. And
you remember the one that tried to take me away?
Yeah, that's the one I'm referencing. The one that was in your year, and hilarious if they watch this.
Shout out to you.
I was like, bro, no, this isn't happening. You're not coming in here and asserting your authority just because we went to school together. Bearing in mind that I barely knew them, but what I did know, and they were being quite arrogant as soon as they came in. And I was like, bro, was Alfie in that time as well?
I
I don't know if he was in chat at the same time. Maybe not. That would have been interesting if Alfie was there too. But yeah, Alfie's a great guy. But
I think modding for you as well is what brought me and Callum closer, because obviously we were forced into mod meetings. I say forced. We weren't forced. It was completely optional. Just need to clarify this. It was completely optional meetings.
It's part of being a mod. It's part of being a moderator.
It was an optional. Dun, dun, dun.
But no, like obviously being in mob meetings together, and that we kind of had to get used to each other in the weirdest way possible. And I don't know why, Callum, but the first few mod meetings, I've not told you this before. The first few mob meetings that you were in, I for some reason thought you drove a Tesla.
Wrong person.
You think I'm Elon Musk?
You were Alex.
No, I genuinely thought Callum drove a Tesla, because I remember one time.
Yeah,
no,
I had a dude, but it's not Callum.
I remember him going out to his car one day. Because
I had a Peugeot 206. I had a tiny ass car. I looked like Bowser at that time.
Can we get a picture of Bowser from Mario Kart and put Callum's face on it?
Stop
just so people...
making me edit. This is Tuesday. You're trying to make me good.
I'll Photoshop it for you. You can just slide it in.
Just give me the PNG of Bowser. Mario Kart.
Because I still have. It was when your hair was
supposed
crazy.
to be putting out a short today.
Was that shit? Yeah.
Fuck
yeah. It's already up.
It just needs to be put public.
Cool.
Cool. It was when you had your crazy hair before you cut it. And for some reason I thought you were going out to a Tesla. I don't know why.
Do I look rich? I've got whole tops on, mate.
I just thought for like the first month of knowing you.
It's an illusion. That's why he has a bad camera, you know. Saves money, he's smart. That's why he's right. Okay,
I don't know. I just always thought that you drove a Tesla.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So how did you you answered that question. I was going to say, how did you come across stream? You said. Um, what was your decision on wanting to stream as well?
Me?
Because you still do. Yep.
Yeah, I still do.
Talking to bad.
Bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stream part-time.
Plug.
Plug.
Our plug. Oh yeah.
That's my Twitch
Sorry.
name. It was a Christmas present last year from a friend. It's all like engraved on acrylic. Like 3D printed, sorry. You can see on the back where all the lines are from the printing.
Oh yeah.
This is my Twitch name.
Cool. So go follow if you're not.
But yeah, so I kind of always wanted to get into streaming, just before when I first started to get onto Twitch. And like I did do a few couple of odd streams when I was 14, 15-ish.
Okay.
Bearing in mind I was about 13 when I joined Twitch, so
Ooh,
I was a youngin'. I've had my account since 2015, so
Twitch weren't alive when I was there.
Probably was actually.
It used to be Justin TV.
Yeah.
But I was always too I don't think I'm entertaining enough, etc. And I still don't think I'm entertaining enough, which is why I get really confused when people don't get me wrong, I appreciate the support and that, but I just get confused why people think I'm entertaining when half the time it's me complaining about someone shoving something up my ass or me just laughing manically because I've just done a really weird kill, in COD, and I just don't, I don't know how people see me as entertaining. I appreciate it, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I was always in the weird mindset of I don't know. And then I think it was Nibs that when I was around your streams and actually started to get to know you, you were like, why don't you just do it, just have a laugh, that sort of thing. And I remember getting my overlays done. Whilst chatting to you about it, I was like, look, I'll get the overlays done, and even if it's just a temporary thing, you were the first person besides my graphics artist to see my overlays.
Yeah.
Before anybody else.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice. I still have the same overlays now as back when I started, because I've only been streaming a year and a bit. A year.
Yeah.
Just over a year and a month.
Yeah. I researched as well. Twitch started in 2011.
Yeah, started as Justin TV.
I wouldn't. I won't. Yeah. I was before that. I was some sort of age.
And I remember my first stream, I started it at 7 o'clock at night and went on till 10 o'clock. It was a very short, it was 7 till 9 or 7 till 10. It was a short stream on New World when that first came out.
Yeah.
And then I think I then went on and did Warzone for a little bit. I first started to get into COD on stream,
Yeah.
And that sort of stuff. Because I've always been a big COD fan. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not amazing at the game, but I like the game. I get by. I do my thing. And I get kills.
Yeah.
And I just like playing COD with friends and that. So for example, COD brought me closer to a lot of my American friends that I have. I'm sure they won't mind me naming them, but K-Dog and Cassie, if it wasn't for COD, I wouldn't know them. I met them through a Twitch community. through a very nice partner. Met them through his community. One night just randomly started playing Cold War with Cassie. And then the night after, K-Dog joined and we were just chilling and playing. And I stayed up till like 7 o'clock in the mornings playing with them, obviously because of the time difference. This was back when COVID was around. And I think it was also like just having that sort of fun just off stream was like, there was some hilarious things that would happen as well that you're like, oh, I wish I could like capture this moment, you know? And I think that's another thing that like made me do the final push to actually like set up my OBS and like actually start streaming and that. And I'm very grateful I did, because I've met some lovely people on Twitch.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think like I'm not gonna call it the worst bit about streaming, but one of the most like it's not the worst bit because it's a really good moment, but like one of the funniest things is when me and Kellum play together, like on COD or something. and one of us gets into a laughing fit and the other follows, because we've both got very distinctive laughs, as I like to call it. So then everyone's laughing about like just us laughing. We have very contagious laughs.
Yeah.
And I think it's like sharing moments like that with like friends online, like whether they're in the game or like watching to stream or lurking and that. It's nice to feel like there are more friends, you know, in the weirdest way possible.
Just saw a headphone go pop.
But yeah, I think that's why I kind of started streaming, was because it was something that I'd wanted to try, and I had a lot of fun off stream. And then I finally made the push of, once I got my graphics, I finally set up OBS after being like, I don't know, etc. I was like, no, I'll set it up. So I did. I went through set it up. I only had like 2 scenes at the time, which was 3 scenes, which was my just chatting screen, my game scene, which was literally just my webcam frame that I had on that scene. And then I think I had like a BRB scene as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was a bit like, I was very fortunate when it came to starting streaming, because I had a few friends already. So like you nibs, like you supported me since my first stream and still do, you know, crazy like that. I don't know how you've stuck with me, but
I can say the same though, to be honest. So yeah. Yeah.
And I think like one of the
else.
like good things about streaming is those that you do make friends with on stream, like even if it's in a game, like you still play with them off stream, you know? Or like if you make friends with another streamer, you still play with them if they're streaming and you're not, you know, that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's nice, the friendships that you get out of it. Very fortunate. And yeah, I have some very nice moddies as well. You 2B2 with them.
No, you.
I still remember.
No,
I still remember when I messaged you asking if I could mod you, Nibs. I was terrified when I DM'd you. I was like, oh, but she might say no. Oh, I don't want it to feel like she has to. That sort of stuff.
Well, I did get a no.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. I said I could help. She was like, oh, I appreciate the offer,
but no.
I'm not looking right now.
Yeah.
That's
At the time I wasn't looking.
Yeah.
I'm happy with where I'm at the moment.
Yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't really matter anyway. Anyway, so which I mean leads into next episode, doesn't it? Like with we could talk a little bit more about
We'll do like a
Why
more
A
of
little bit
a,
more about current
this way?
situations.
we'll do more
Yeah.
of a streamer's insight to like streaming and that and platforms like etc. You know,
Yeah.
because I think
We'll have to do a bunch of research.
there's a lot about streaming that people won't say.
I can hear my dog biting the Hoover.
Yeah, there's a lot about streaming that people won't say that me and Nibs are both quite happy to usually voice about, you know.
Oh yes.
Oh, I guess I'm introing that one too.
So I think if it like obviously let us know if that is something you're interested in. Like the nitty gritties
think-
about streaming, like the ins and outs and the things that people don't quite realize when they just start up or something, you know, stuff like that. Like if
Yeah.
that's something you do want to hear us yap about, let us know, you know.
Yeah.
Same with any other like podcast topics, like
Like the truth about streaming and stuff like that, you know.
yeah. I think it was Diego last time. Callum, you can put the comment on screen. We'll get you a snippet of it. But I think Diego said that he was looking forward to the
Depends how pissed
paranormal,
off you make me when I'm
Yeah.
editing.
to the paranormal one at some point that we mentioned.
Paranormal.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if there is any other topics that you do want us to cover, let us know. You know, comments are there
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not just to make Callum feel good about his editing. Yeah, let us know. And if we do your topic of choice, obviously we'll give you credit in that for the idea. Callum won't, but me and Nibs will.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah,
Yeah.
guess that kind of
Nice.
concludes the
been a
second podcast.
Lovely one today.
Yeah,
It's been very informative.
podcast
really
number
has.
2 in the bag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I pointed
bag.
down there like there's a bag down there. I was actually pointing at my cat.
Not sponsored.
Oh.
IBM. There we go.
But yeah, no, it's been a really nice episode this time. Not that the last one wasn't.
Did it flow better in your opinion?
Say that again, sorry?
Yeah.
I thought
Did
it
it
flowed
flow better?
lovely. It really flowed.
Yeah, it
I
flowed
think, I
well.
think it's been a really nice episode. So,
Bye.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you
Oh.
for today again.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
It's been very nice.
Fuck's sake, Callum. Fuck's sake.
And yeah, again, if you have any ideas or anything you want us to talk about, or if you just want to let us know what you thought of today's episode, please do so in the comments. We'd love to hear what people think.
Yeah.
And your opinions on what we should do next. I
Yeah.
said onions at the start.
Your onions on what we should do
next.
Yes.
We're coming for your onions because we're
The onions
ogres.
are very important to us.
Did you just say onions are very important to us, or am I imagining
Yes.
things?
Yes, I did.
Nice.
Do you put those on your burgers?
Oh yo. But yeah, no. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Podcast number 2.
I was gonna say it again.
We'll catch
You're
you next
welcome.
time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Uh,
Bye.
Bye. Bye.